is to help the world heal. And that purpose can only move forward if we, as individuals, move forward, right? Yes? So we all need to become the very best version of ourselves in order to accomplish what we set out to do. And I have personally had a front row seat to the transformation and healing of so many over the past 15 years. And I can't wait to watch this magnificent transformation happen over the next 15 years and beyond. So excited. doTERRA has been built to be a forever company. We've done this powered by people, purpose, and plants. And I always find profound insights from the beautiful plants that produce our essential oils. So today, I want to tell you about a lesson I have learned from lavender. Lavender starts out as a tiny seed in a greenhouse. It sprouts and is nurtured in a safe and protected environment. But once it is strong enough to withstand the elements, the seedling is planted in a large field. For 3 years, the lavender seedling grows and develops into a mature, thriving plant. Her beautiful flowering stems reach up towards the sky and sway in the gentle breeze. And then she is cut down. Her radiant stems of purple flowers are cut and taken away, and all that is left are a few short sprigs. She doesn't know why this has happened. Through the fall and the winter, the lavender becomes dormant. I like to imagine what the thoughts she might have during this season. Perhaps she feels ashamed and unsure of her purpose. She has been so tall and vibrant, and now she's cut short and barren. Gradually, the sun returns and the snow melts from the lavender fields. The lavender plant begins to grow once again. New green leaves sprout, hundreds and then even thousands. And they begin to blossom and once again reach towards the sky laden with purple flowers. But she is not the same plant she was the summer before. Her roots are deeper, her flowers are more radiant, and the beautiful lavender fragrance is more powerful than ever before. But how can that be? It took her 3 years to become what she was before she was cut down. And now, in only a few months, she has surpassed what took her years to achieve. But she also knows that another cutting will come. She starts to worry about losing her flowering stems, but then she begins to see that the cut stems have been transformed as well. Her stems have become something that a mother uses to soothe her restless child, that helps a teenager loosen the knot of worry in her chest, and a treasured balm for a stressed father who desperately needs to rest. And she realizes that her purpose was bigger than she ever imagined. That lavender plant, which had felt so much shame because of her cut stems, became a stronger version of herself. And through that process, she gave a precious gift to others. And now she knows that it doesn't matter how many times she is cut down. She will come back stronger, wiser, and more beautiful than ever before. How many of us can relate to this lavender plant? How many of us have felt cut down? Maybe you were so proud of your growth or status, and then fell back. Maybe you experienced excruciating loss or hardship. In some fashion, the vision you held for your future changed. The pain and maybe even shame you've experienced is real. And I want you to know that there is a greater plan for you. Each time the lavender is cut down, it grows back stronger. But it has to be cut back first. Our experiences, the hardships, heartache, and setbacks is for our growth. And when the spring sun comes back, which it always does, we step into a more radiant version of ourselves with greater wisdom and compassion. with grander understanding and purpose. We chose the convention theme, Becoming with Intention. This year we are focusing not on the destination, but on the journey. You see, we never fully arrive. We are constantly becoming who we are meant to be. And this is the greatest journey of all time. At the end of the day, becoming means being more of who we are inside. What could be simpler than being yourself? But so often it feels like embracing our true selves is the most terrifying thing imaginable. I'd like to share a personal story with you about being afraid, a story about being cut down, a story about becoming a truer version of myself. In 2016, we didn't have virtual attendees as we do this year, and it was the largest convention in doTERRA's history. We had so many people here with us in person that we had to offer 2 general session tracks. The arena where we are gathered today could not hold us all, so we turned the salt palace next door into exhibit halls, and we had a massive meeting space as we as presenters spoke twice, so that every person could have a fully immersive experience. When the moment came and 30,000 people were waiting, I should have been backstage reviewing my notes, getting ready to speak. But I was not. I was in my hotel room, curled up into a fetal position. You see, just before we had celebrated all of our silvers, golds, and platinums, this was such a special moment. I love celebrating the victories of others, and nothing brings me more happiness than seeing people rise up to their higher potential. But after the celebratory moment, paralyzing thoughts crept into my mind. I felt that everyone was depending on me. I was terrified that I would fail you. I was afraid that I was not good enough. I felt inadequate, and that if I stepped out onto the stage, you would see me for what I was. That day in the hotel room, I was so afraid. My mind told my body that I was in mortal danger. It's a human instinct to curl up into a ball when we're in danger. We make ourselves small as possible and try to be invisible and protect our vital organs. We hold still and play dead and hope the threat passes. And that is exactly what I was doing. I was hiding. When I could not pull myself out of the fetal position, I decided that I needed to ask someone else to close out the event. Someone more capable, someone more worthy, someone who could inspire you, someone you deserved. I called a trusted friend to help me figure it out. But instead of telling me who should take my place, she helped me realize that I was making it all about me. My fears were centered around how you would perceive me. They were centered around the possibility of me letting you down. And she reminded me that when I share my divine gifts with the intent of helping others, I am strengthened, I am held, I am lifted. What I realized is that other people's failures and successes are not because of me. It was a humbling moment. My presentation that day was not about me. It was about the people I could serve. Who am I to hold these gifts back from the people who need them? I don't have the power to make you more or less than you are. All I can do is share my heart, share my knowledge, and maybe I can share something that will help you continue your journey. And so I let go of my fear of judgment. I let go of my own story and the person I used to be. I was able to shed the shame of my past and step into the stronger, more resilient version of myself. I closed out convention that year. With trembling knees and a shaky voice, a message poured out of me that was raw and vulnerable and not at all what I had prepared. But it was a message that allowed for so much healing. And I believe much of that healing was for me. We all have a stage. And it can be hard to step out onto that stage and let yourself be seen. Our stages all look different, but they all require you to let go of the person you think you're supposed to be so that you can step into the person you truly are. One of the most damaging thoughts we can have about ourselves is, I am not. I am not somebody who can stand in front of a crowd. I am not influential. I am not smart enough to understand complex subjects. I am not healthy enough to help others improve their health. Or equally limiting thoughts like, I'm not successful anymore. I'm not the strong leader I used to be. The shame we pile on ourselves when we slip, or stumble is real. And it can be crippling if we allow it to take root. How often do we fight against new growth because we are clinging to a story that no longer serves us? Yes. So I ask you today, are you ready to let go of your fear of judgment? Are you willing to let go of the identity you are holding so tightly to that doesn't serve you? Are you ready to grow, to be stronger and more radiant? That's why you're all here, right? Yes. Will you get uncomfortable so the most authentic you can emerge? And as you do this, you will bless the world with your gifts. That's what you're intended to do. Your journey is not finished. Your story is still being written. My story is still being written. We must give grace as we walk through valleys that are our teacher and venture out to climb new mountains with boldness, passion, and confidence. When I look at you, I see a group of people who are changing the world. I love you. I see people who are going through personal transformations that will unlock infinite potential. I see people who follow their hearts and refuse to live life according to the world's standards. I see people who stand out from the world. As you experience this convention, I hope you feel your own voice growing stronger. I hope you give yourself permission to grow and evolve, which requires discomfort. You are not the person you were yesterday. And I hope that tomorrow reveals a part of you that you didn't know lived inside of you. I love you. I believe in you. And just like the magnificent lavender plant, you become more and more spectacular every day. Your ability to bless lives, to reach out and help the world heal is growing. And the healing starts from inside all of us. It's time to give the new version of you permission to shine through, to become the most amazing you. Are you ready? So now we get to move over to the fun part of today.